Okie dokie. So the next two projects I have are basically finished. This one's a little janky, and I think that's just due to limitations of the code or whatever. So this is Icewind the Mattekar. She is in her cave here, as you can see. And some pillars and some stalactites and other things. This encounter is interesting because it's not strictly about dealing damage to her directly with your character. It's about using the environment and some other mechanics that you'll see to do damage to her. She has a number of scripted sort of attacks, and we're going to go attackable and let you see what they are. Alrighty. Take my sickle off so I don't kill her by accident. It says, the Mattekar shakes her mighty horns. Take care or you'll be gorged. She casts a force blast. That's one of the actions she does. And she will trigger her actions both on you attacking her and on her attacking you. So I guess if you want to speed things along, I think you can probably just shifts her weight to her back foot. She's about to stomp. She does an AoE attack like the... she fell. That's actually a little janky, like I said. See these stalactites here? These big stalactites. If she does one of her actions, if she stomps or roars or whatever underneath it, it's supposed to fall and hit her. And so she did her little emote where she fell and took damage. You see she's taking a little bit of damage. She's at 93%. But unfortunately, because of some jankiness, like I said, with the range in which things hear signals, plus the way she appears on my screen versus the way she actually is on the server. Okay, she's charging northeast. And if she hits the pillar, she damages it. And if she does that too many times, the pillar will fall. So like I said, it's a little janky. And she falls if she hits the wall, bonks her head, and takes a little damage. It's not, again, as I said, it's not very clean. Simply, I think, because this is a 24-year-old game now, something like that, on an emulator. But I think I tried to do some interesting things here. I think we haven't seen her try to roar yet. If she tries to roar, she will... Oh, she's charging the north. So she charges based on where she is in the room. If she's in one quadrant of the room, she'll charge one direction. If she's in the other, she'll charge another way. And you have a little bit of time to move her so that she doesn't bonk into the pillars and threaten a cave-in, basically. But as I said, a little janky. Oh, there she's stomping. Okay, so I'm going to go show you... This is the wrong way. I'm going to show you the additional mechanics. So here's a nice little old miner's room. You have their little bedrolls and a little tipped chest and some tipped chair. And oh, there's a faded rug. Pick that up. This is a usable item, and I'll show you what that does here when we get back into the room. There's a little mine shaft going deeper. Mine carts. Crates of caltrops. These are, again, a usable item. I'll pick some of these up. And powder keg. Also can use those. I think there's caltrops elsewhere. Maybe another powder keg. There's another crate of caltrops. Okay. So we're going to get out of this room. And I will show you how these work. If we lay down the caltrops. Oh, she wounded her feet. You didn't get a good chance to see that very well. But if I lay this down, some little caltrops on the ground. Oh, she ran over again. Like I said, a little bit of jankiness. And so, because we picked up the caltrops and the powder keg, there are some vengeful miners that have arrived to punish the theft of their equipment. These are some undead that should start spawning out here. Here they come. And we can actually collapse the entrance to this cave, or fight them if we choose. Either way is fine. We'll see if we can bring the Mattekar over here. When she uses her stomps and roars and gores and all that stuff over here, she should cause a little bit of cave-in here. Oh, we lost our powder keg, so I'll have to wait till I can get another one before I can show you. Oh, there we go. Closed off the mine. And once that's closed off, well, actually I think the undead are on a timer. And when they are finished spawning, the powder keg will spawn again, and the tunnel will reopen. So we're going to have to wait a little bit for that. In the meantime, I will lay down some more caltrops and show you those. If I can get her away from me. Hey, there's little caltrops. A little stepping on them. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not very smooth based on the way things move in the game. But if you're selective, if I were inclined to, oh, their pillar came crashing down. If a couple of the pillars crash down, then the ceiling caves in and we automatically die. Yes, if I was saying, if I was very selective about what I showed, I could make this look a lot smoother. And it's possible that with some changes to the changes the way I did things, and maybe reduce some of the showiness of the mechanics a little bit. The charge mechanic in particular doesn't look very good, simply because she keeps trying to attack you as she's trying to charge. And there I died. Okie dokie. So I did want to show you a couple more things before we're done. The faded rug. If she's charging and you use the faded rug, oh, it didn't work. Basically, she gives you a little bit of warning before she does any of her emotes that she does, any of her little actions. There's a really fairly brief pause before she'll actually do it. And if you use the rug, you'll distract her. Again, I didn't do it in time there, I think. But that's the purpose of the rug. Okie dokie. Let's see here. Go on through here. And let's see if there's another powder keg. There is. I just want to shoot the powder keg, and then we'll be done with this. And like I said, you're going to be killing her exclusively via bonking her into walls and landing stalactites on her head and using powder kegs and caltrops. Let me show you the powder keg. Powder keg is interesting in that, take the cloak off a little bit, is that there's a brief arming period. You lean down, light the fuse, and then you got to get out of the way. And she took a bunch of damage, so it worked. And I also got hit for a lot by the firebomb, so you have to get out of the way as well. And it really had intended this to be for probably more than one character. So a few people down here, one sort of distracting her with the rug when they can, and another sort of using, laying down the caltrops and the powder kegs and such. Okay, so that's Icewind the Mattekar. For the final thing I'd like to show you today, I've taken us to Pierre's Tree Farm. Some of you may be familiar with this from a Christmas Krampus event we held on Levistris last December. This was an event that sort of was a riff off of that. It's a spring snow event where there's been an unseasonable snowfall in the Mother Pines Grove, and as you can see, it hasn't affected the plants themselves, so they're all green for the spring or summer, but the snow is on the ground. So here's Pierre's cottage. Come in and see Pierre. Without his legs, he says it's rude to come into his cabin. Perhaps you'd find that titillating. Oh my. Anyhow, over in here we gotta pick up a fumigator. Pick up a bucket. And fill the bucket at the well. We're going to need all these things here in a moment, and you'll see. And I believe a cauldron. And we get some tree bulbs from the cauldron. We're going to enter the grove. I'm going to find Mother Pine. She's the big pine tree here. We're going to see about starting the event. And as you can see, there are little golems, little charcoal golems attacking the trees. And they've done damage to the trees. And if you have tree bombs in your inventory, you can use the tree and heal it. You can also attack the charcoal golems with their regular attacks. Obviously not going to do a whole lot of damage with my fists, but I wanted to show you, since we have some trees that are on fire, we can use a bucket of water to put it out. And we're going to let him kill this tree so you can see what happens. So the goal here, while he's killing the tree, is to keep most of the tree. You see, it fell over and it's on fire now. So each time they kill a tree, it's going to fall over and catch on fire. The goal is to keep as many of the trees alive as possible. You see there's another well over there. I see after it dies, it turns into charcoal. Just a nice little effect there. You can refill up your bucket of water. There are also, I believe, some snowdrifts in here somewhere as well. Maybe, yep, there's a snowdrift. If you use a snowdrift, you make a slush ball. You can equip that. And if you use this to attack the charcoal golems, you have to hit them a few times. The slush ball, and they get extinguished, and they turned into a little pile of that. And they dropped a smoldering coal. Pick that up. If you take the smoldering coal to Mother Pine, use the Mother Pine with the smoldering coal in your inventory, you hand one over, and lights up a little light on the tree. And I believe if we kill another one, we can see what else they drop. I don't need to do it on medium accuracy. I can do it on low accuracy. He dropped another smoldering coal, I believe. So this is a live event for players of any level. The golems can attack you. They don't do a whole lot of damage if you're a low-level player. They have some emotes that allow them to do higher damage to you if you're a higher level player. So there's a little bit of risk involved for everybody. It's mostly just a fun little race against the clock kind of event. Okay, so this one dropped the other thing we're looking for. It's a curious bulb. It's a little ginseng root, or which one it is. Dragon's blood, I think, is the old component. If we use Mother Pine with this in our inventory, plant a flower. And so somewhere around here there should be a flower. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. There's the flower. So there's a little bit of radius around them. If you had, 15, 20 people turning in curious bulbs, this whole area would fill up. And I think I will actually make some curious bulbs here in a second and show you what that looks like. Also, during the Crops event, for those of you who weren't here, the things that we handed over to the Mother Pine here made little Christmas ornaments spawn on the tree, all around in a spiral all the way up to the top. And so this event is not quite as interesting as far as the ornaments go. It's just green and gold ornaments in sequence, because it's sort of, the lore is that they're turning the smoldering coals from the golems into sort of verdant life energy, sort of transmuting it into something positive instead, just for a little something to keep the decorating the tree mechanic going. It's not quite as on point seasonally speaking as the Krampus event, but it's something a little interesting, I think. So here you can see what it looks like when some more flowers have been planted. Some nice little spring flowers poking up out of the snow. So the last thing I wanted to show you was the main boss of this event. He appears a couple of minutes after the event started to give people a chance to acclimate themselves, and spawns in one of 4 different cardinal directions. Here I think we're looking at the west entrance to the grove, and we'll go ahead and show you what he looks like. So here he is. Here's Old Hickory. He has a beef with the Mother Pine. His own grove got burned down by a freak flash lightning storm one summer, and so he's jealous of all other trees, magical trees that have groves. Something like that. When he knocks down a tree, he burns it down, and players would be required to attack him to drive him away, else he'll be knocking down trees pretty rapidly. And so that's the event, and after a certain period of time, I think it's about 20 minutes, the event is over, and as long as our tree's still standing, players win. So that's going to be it for today's video. I want to thank everybody for watching. The next videos I'm going to be presenting will probably take some more time to put together. The unreleased content involved is fairly complicated, so I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to structure it yet, whether it may need more than one video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Anyhow, thanks for watching, everybody.